G'day Hexes, and welcome to episode 4 of Monday Meta Madness. I am your host Havoc, and today we're going to be looking at a deck that was used at the Invitational. So let's get straight into it. Any second now, come on, there we go, transition. Alright, so we're going to be looking at Australian Pets for Dummies. In other words, the spider deck we're looking at. So the deck that was run by Sirius at the Invitational. We're going to be looking at his specific list initially, and then we'll have a look at HEX meta, see what things people have been attempting or trying out. It's a deck that's been around for quite some time, but yeah, we'll take a look at all that. Here's some of the key cards. We've got Fentio and Azure Fate being the key win condition to the deck. Very good combo. We'll get to why that's a good combo in a minute. But yeah, there's some of the key cards there. So let's before we get into the client and actually look at the deck list, I've got a special offer for you guys. So if you order now, we got this book here, Australian Pets for Dummies. If you order now, 3 easy payments of 1 liter of blood or 1 payment of 3 liters, you can get this great book here, written by yours truly. You can learn how to make people piss their pants, put entire decks into crypts, pet a Fentio without tears. This is an exclusive limited time offer, so get in quick. Feel free to just message me if you'd like to get a copy of this. Limited time only though, and there's only a limited quantity even. And yeah, there's also, tell you what, if you order today, I'm going to throw in a free bowl of spiders. Colors and rarity vary, but you know, if you order today, you know, you could get really lucky and get some really poisonous spiders. You know, could get some redbacks. You know, who knows? But you know, that's a today only offer. But that's that. Let's get into the deck list now. Here we go. Whoops, no, oh, that's wrong transition there. That's for later. But let's get into the game here. So yes, that's yeah. If you want to get a copy of that, all you got to do is just send me a message, and yeah, free bowl of spiders. Who doesn't want that, right? Could get some nice juicy redbacks. They're pretty tasty. Yum yum. Alright, so here we have the deck list. Let me, by the way, while the show is going, feel free to ask questions in the chat. And I will do my best to answer them as quick as possible. So yeah, again, this is a deck that was run by Sirius at the Invitational. Alright, so as I mentioned, the key combo to this deck is you've got Fentio the Brood Priest here, and he creates 3 Tarantula eggs for each opposing champion, puts them into their decks. That's when you exhaust him. So the Tarantula eggs themselves, if you're not familiar with them, they are extremely powerful. So you know, it works the same as Spiderling eggs. You know, when the opponent draws it, they will still draw the card they were going to draw, but you'll get this Tarantula and put it into play onto your side. And this is what the Tarantula is. It's a 5/5 for 5, and when it enters play, destroy target opposing troops. So very powerful, a very big threat, but yeah, just insane. And this is one of the ways, the way the combo works here between Fentio and the Azure Fate is the fact that the Tarantula there we saw as a 5 cost means that because of the Azure Fate sorcerers here having the ability, I know it's hard to read here, but it does say, as another troop with cost equal to or greater than this troop's cost enters play under your control, that troop gets all socketed powers of this. And the socketed powers we're using here, the one that is actually relevant to that effect is the Major Sapphire of Subterfuge. And the reason for that is because when the Azure Fate itself and the Tarantulas enter play, as long as she's still on the board, when a Tarantula is when you get a Tarantula, then it will bury cards from the top of your opponent's deck equal to the troop's combined attack and defense. So in the case of the Azure Fate itself, you're going to mill 4 initial cards, and she has 2 and 2. And then if you hit one of those sexy Tarantulas, which I'll bring up just again here, if you hit one of these suckers, well, because it's a 5 and 5, you're going to mill 10 cards. And thanks to Fentio adding on the first activation, he'll be adding 3 eggs. If you're lucky, you could just mill your opponent's deck. Not likely, obviously, with one activation, but if you've got... I think the key number really is having 2 activations and then you're getting your Azure Fate down. As if you hit one of those tarantulas, there's pretty good odds you will deck your opponent and they will have no more cards in their deck. They'll all be in the crypt. But yeah, like the more the better, of course, increasing that chance. But it's all about that first initial hit. So these 2 cards are very key to the deck, the Azure Fate and the Fentio. That's the main win condition. Now, it's not putting all its eggs in one basket though. We do still have Reese, which I'm sure we all know and love at this point, but for those of you not familiar, Reese is a tunneler that is tunneling 4. So you can, if you're lucky, you're tunneling him on turn 2. You then will get him 4 turns later. He'll pop out of the ground, and then he'll get this effect here where instead of creating, he'll create a worker bot, but then it says here when he surfaces, it changes him so that if one or more cards or effects would create a worker bot, create a random robot instead. So he'll start creating random robots for you. That's a powerful effect by itself. He also has the ability to be inspired by Azure Fate, and a lot of robots do as well. So that's another way the deck can win. Now, looking at the deck as a whole, it's still got a lot of control cards. Starting at the top here, we've got Inquisition. The thing that does make it a bit tricky here is that it is a double blood, and we are in dual color, but we are prioritizing the blood, as you can see here, with 9 blood, 7 sapphire, 4 jewel shards here, of the Shard of Cunning, and also the silk. And we're to get activation of this effect here, being able to use this, we need Venom Allegiance. And so let's have a quick look here. So Venom Allegiance, the way that works for all Allegiance cards, as long as you have a card, a Venom in this case, in your hand or in play, you'll then be able to use that effect. Otherwise, you'll just gain a charge and the one resource. So we've got, let's see, 4, 7, 9, 10, 11 Venom total in the deck. So that's not too bad. It's more than enough to have pretty decent odds that you'll get that effect happening. So you can if you've got your thresholds already met, just getting 3 Spiderling eggs is actually very good value. Very good value indeed. And speaking of which, the deck is also running Zorzum of Koru, which is the champion here, and it starts with 22 health, and at 3 charges you can create 3 Spiderling eggs for each opposing champion and put them into their deck, so much like the resource we just looked at, and that's for 1 blood and 1 sapphire threshold as well. So before I continue here, let's quickly look at the chat, see if there's any questions. Why aren't there any baby yetis in the deck? Okay, let's check for real questions. Alright, so no real questions just yet, but feel free to ask anything. So again, to do with the control here, so we'll look at the first card here, Arcane Focus. Just first of all, amazing artwork. Look at this mouse here. Hex Entertainment, make this little guy here a raid boss in the future, please. Okay, thanks. Make him like the end game boss. Like, this guy is actually the mastermind of everything evil. Anyway, so this Arcane Focus, we've seen it before. It's one of the best 1-cost Sapphire actions in the game. Being just the sheer power of it, being able to deck thin, but also just grabbing what you potentially need. It's just very good for 1 cost. So we've seen that before, but yeah, let's move on. So Inquisition, as I mentioned just before, double blood makes it a little bit tricky to do it on 2 when you're wanting to do it. But luckily this deck has, let's see, a total of 3, 6, 7, 8, like 9 things that it could be doing on turn 2, or at least want to be doing. We've got the Inquisition itself, Exarch of the Egg, and then Tunneling Reese the Crustcrawler. But so the Inquisition here, you target a opposing champion, you reveal their hand, and then you choose a non-resource card and discard it. So very good card. Sort of in a way you can think of it as in a way as a preemptive counter magic. You're getting to get rid of that threat before they get to cast it, which obviously not a counter, but it's one way to think of it. So very nice card, especially casting it on 2. But, again, the thresholds, I mean the thresholds to me are probably fine, but you're not always going to be able to do that, of course. You've also got the Time Ripple here, another control card, just being able to bounce something into your opponent's hand and increase its cost by 1. Also being quick action can be very relevant at times. So, Exile for the Egg, we haven't mentioned him yet, but he's just a nice venom troop, a very strong 2 cost, a 1/3 with lethal for 2. He's already very good value. But then he's also got this nice effect here that when this or another venom enters play under your control, it creates 2 Spiderling eggs for each opposing champion and puts them into their decks. Now the Spiderlings, let's have a quick look at those. They're just unblockable 1/1s for 2, so very good value. Just unblockable troops are nice, but that's not a huge deal. It's not really using them primarily for the spiders, but it is another way it can become an alternate wing condition with a bunch of spiders, especially when it comes to Brood Baron later on, doubling the amount of spider eggs, so you can double the tarantulas and double the spiderlings there. So that's a Brood Baron there, 3/5 for 5. Pretty powerful effect. And then if your opponent does get to 250 or more eggs, well then you just win. So that's the Brood Baron. But back to the control cards here. So we're also running 3 kill, quick action for 3, destroy target non-artifact troop. Pretty self-explanatory. 3 counter magics. Generally, you're going to see most decks that are running Sapphire. You're going to see this card, and probably will for some time. Very powerful. Just being able to answer anything, even if your opponent brings something surprising, maybe it's not in the meta, and they're just doing something crazy, and you're like, oh wow, I'm glad I've got this card that can stop anything. So counter magic, being able to interrupt any target card. Well, I say any, there are some that are uninterruptible, we may see more in the future. But yeah, so that interrupts the card as quick action and increases the cost by each of the other cards with the same name by 2. So that's the counter magic. We've already looked at Fend here. We've also got another venom here, the Xentos Inquisitor. So this guy's a 3/1 for 4, but he's got a major gem here. And let's have a look at what is this gem. The gem that generally is used is the Major Blood Orb of Brutality. So when it enters play, target opposing troop gets minus damage equal to this troop's damage. So you're off to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz. Michael Brace, thank you very much for the follow there. So as I said, very good against vampires. As you can, for example, the Vampire Princess and the King are both troops that can get completely negated by the effect here. But another powerful effect that the Xentos Inquisitor himself has is that when he dies, he goes into your hand and gets increased in cost by 2. So he'll be a 4 cost, then becomes a 6 and 8 and so on. So he has his own built-in recursion, which is very nice. Meaning you can, you've got something that just keeps going if the game goes late. You can keep minusing vampires and the like. So it can be very nice. So 2 of in the deck here. We've got the control card, which is Extinction. You're not really going to see many people running blood and not have this card in the deck, or at least in the sideboard. It is just wipe everything, destroy all the troops on the board, regardless of spell shield or anything like that. It's gonna blow everything up, including your own things. But if you're doing it, you're probably not gonna mind too much. So destroy all troops, pretty self-explanatory there, but extremely powerful, and very likely will be for some time. So again, the Azure Fate there with the effect. We've got so one thing I didn't mention before is the quick. It's double Sapphire, but a key point to this is the quick actually is important, as you can leave up things like counter magic or kills and so on. If you're then needing to do a quick action, be it time ripple, kill, counter magic, you're leaving those open on your opponent's turn. Then if they do something you don't care about, or it's not, you don't need to, it's not high priority, or you just want to go for the Azure Fate, you can flash this into play, it's quick speed, and especially if you've got the activations done of Fentio, you can go for the win with the combo. Now the thing that makes this combo so powerful, and hopefully my computer fan isn't making too much noise there, but the thing that makes this so powerful is the fact that once the Azure Fate hits the board, the mill will take place, so it'll do the 4 cards. If it hits a Tarantula, during this time your opponent doesn't get a chance to react. They, you know, if they haven't countered the Azure Fate with a counter magic, then it's going to hit the board, and they're not going to have a chance to then like kill it or something like that if a Tarantula is hit. Because what will happen is that activation, it will still be going, so they're not getting priority yet to do anything. So if you've got a lot of Tarantulas in there, you could just mill them out completely and they can't do anything about it. There's no cards that can stop it once it gets started. But obviously it is only doing 4 by itself, so if you're not lucky or you don't hit a Tarantula, then maybe it just mills 4 cards that don't matter, and then they can kill it after that. But if it does hit a Tarantula and there is a lot in your deck, well then you're probably going to be dead. So very powerful combo, and that's, if it could be stopped, be it like a kill or a burn or whatever, then it would be less powerful. But with how it works, it makes it incredibly powerful. Because like I said, if you've got a lot of Tarantulas, just need to hit one, and you're probably decking your opponent out. So again, that's the main win condition of the deck. So whoops, my mouse has just gone all funny. Give it a bit of a clean. So another good card here with Rise again. So put target troop from a crypt, so any crypt, your opponent's or your own, into play under your control. So this can be very good against, for example, you might use it on an opponent's Windsinger that you've killed, or even countered. You can go grab that and use its powerful effect for yourself. You can use it on things like Crocosaur to eat multiple of your opponent's troops. You could get back your own Reese, your Fentio, your Azure Fate, whatever you're needing at the time, whatever's the best. Just as a one-off here, so a nice effect and a nice addition to the deck there. So then we've also got a one-of Zartax's Bishop of the Azure Fang, a 5-cost troop 4/4, that also when he enters play he creates a Spider Spore. Now this is different from Spiderlings, and let's have a look at why. So it's not unblockable, you'll notice, but it is a 2-cost 2/1. Now, the powerful effect that Zartaxis brings here is a bit more potential card advantage to the deck. We remember that we're potentially getting a lot of spiders with Exarch. Just entering play adds 2 spiders if you do another Exarch.
You're off to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz.
And if you've got a few of those, you've got potential conjuring spiders just by dealing damage. So very nice effect there, double Sapphire. So I just missed that, but someone else followed. Thank you as well. So yeah, and then we have the Brood Baron as well, as we mentioned before, and then the other the other alternate win condition there being Reese. So the deck is well constructed. So that's the main deck. Again, if you have any questions about what I've just talked about there, feel free to ask me. You can also ask questions in the YouTube comments as well, if you have any. So reserves, let's take a look here. We've got, starting up with 2 Ancestors Chosen. At the start of your turn, create 2 Ancestral Spectres and put them into your deck. So it's, against certain matchups, this can be brought in and act as another win condition. I would imagine to be brought in against stuff that isn't running like Crocos and Extinctions, and I'm not entirely sure, but there's several matchups where you might just be like, you know what, I want to bring those in, as the Spectres are very powerful. This is the Spectres here, the Ancestral Spectre. So it's a 2/2 for 1 with flight, so some evasion there. You know what I just realized? I only just realized it's only Monday for me. I thought it was Tuesday for me. Whatever. So I'm actually doing it Monday for my day. I mean, it's Monday madness, right? It's madness. What can I say? Normally I do it on my Tuesday. Monday for you guys. I didn't even realize. Whatevers. It doesn't matter, but I find that actually quite funny. So, yeah, because like I said, normally I do it on Tuesday for me. I thought it was Tuesday for me. That's my sleeping pattern for you. I'm out of it. Anyway, so 2/2 for 2. Sorry, a 2/2 for 1. that when it enters play, draw a card. So they're very powerful, and the ancestors chosen by himself isn't going to really do anything for your board state. You know, he's giving you the chance of drawing these specters, so he might get a couple points of damage in before troops come down to block him or he dies. But they are nice. So yeah, I personally would cut him. I would go for more potential answers for what people are running in the meta and stuff. Yeah, like what Magic Gaz says there, incubation webs. Yeah, that's a good option. But I don't know if I would personally do that since you've already got. I mean, a one of incubation webs would be fine, and then I'd probably look for something else. I actually like this time slot for the madness. Yeah, no, I mean, I don't know. I just fluked it. Anyway, that's fine. So, you know, that's the madness part. You don't know if it's going to be my Monday or your Monday. Who knows? Who knows whose Monday it's going to be? Alright, so next up we've got Withering Touch. Much like Inquisition, but except it's one cost, and it will only take non-troop, non-resource cards and make your opponent discard. So much like Inquisition there, but only working on actions. So, well, I say actions, you can also get rid of constants and stuff like that as well. So, Withering Touch in the sideboard, definitely fine. Some more extra early removal, which we have here is Rockcast at 2 cost, double blood threshold, which is probably the reason why this is in the reserves here, is the thresholds, you know, make it a bit iffy. But you get to destroy target troop with cost 3 or less, which it hits a lot of things in the meta, so definitely a good card. And then we've also got Monsoon here, which I would potentially think about running this main deck. It's just, you know, just quality. The deck is running enough troops to warrant this effect. But yeah, let's quickly mention what he does. So he's a 3/3 for 3. With Rage 2, which is already fantastic. But then all this text here actually does some stuff, so he can be tunneled. And if you do tunnel him, then every troop you play out after tunneling him will then get a counter on it while he's underground. So he'll be underground for 4 turns. So if you, for example, were to tunnel Monsoon on turn 2, and then on turn 3 you were to play a Fentio, and then on, say, turn 4 you play your Adjurfate, and then, say, for example, your opponent plays a Crocosaur and goes om nom nom. As long as this does not get counter-magicked when it untunnels,
You're out to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz.
the Monsoon effect here will then get basically resurrected and brought back into play upon his resurfacing from underground, or surfacing, I should say. So it's a very powerful effect. So yeah. Obviously not great against bounce, and that's very likely the reasoning why it's being put into the reserves there, as bounce is, you know, generally the main thing that, for example, Winter Moon is running. So, you know, not really. I mean, again, Crocosaur is obviously a thing, but that's not always going to be something you can play around. But yeah, so Monsoon there, very powerful legendary there. We then have 4 Vampire Princess, which is another really good threat. If your opponent's running a lot of actions, you can bring this in. So it's a 3 cost 2/3, and when it deals damage to opposing champion, much like the Vampire King, it will reveal a random card, and in this case, if it reveals an action, it'll transform that action into a Vampiric Kiss, which is this card here. Quick action, 3 cost, deal 2 damage to target champion or troop, and you gain health equal to the damage. So, you know, regardless of the fact that you're getting a free card, you're taking one from your opponent. It's a very powerful effect. Question, where are VK and why not in deck? I mean, it's not needed. The main combo is the Fentio Azure. You could definitely do it, but it's definitely hard making room for all the things you could possibly want. There's a lot of stuff. Yeah. So that's the princess there. We've got some also main deck Vampiric Kiss. It is an actual card, not just something that is created by the princess. You can run it. So in this case, there's 3 of them in the reserve. So you know, very likely the decision was made here that if against, like, you know, aggression, Vampire Princess is actually pretty decent, as it only dies to things like Bolt if you're against like Ruby, or potentially, you know, they're using 2 cards, so it can be nice. And then you've also got the effect here, is something I forgot to mention, is that if she's in your starting hand, then you'll have this effect here where you can once per turn make your Vampiric Kisses cost 0 basically, so you can do them for free, which can be very relevant if you are against like a mono Ruby aggression deck. You can bring her in with the Kisses, and then if you play her out on 3, she was in your starting hand, you then activate this effect, and you can do a Kiss on the same turn, so you're getting to do both of those things, provided you've got both, which obviously you're not always going to have that, but yeah, it can be very nice. And then just another Rise Again in the reserves there as well, so 1 main deck, 1 reserves. So that is the deck. That's the Spider Mill deck there. So this is the list that was run by Sirius. So let's have a quick look at Hex Meta right now, and just have a look at how many people have been going nuts with this deck, or variations of it, or the main combo being Azure Fate and Fentio. So let's bring that up here. So again, this is hexmeta.com. You can go search for pretty much all the decks that people are running in gauntlets, tournaments, as you can see here, community tournaments, so it could be like 5 shards weeklies, all that sort of stuff, and you can find out what's being run from, and in this case I've done a search for Azure Fate Sorceress and Fentio the Brood Priest. So we've got a lot of decks being, a lot of variations, from far back. Let's actually scroll all the way to the bottom here. Get this to load. So back in even 2015, let's have a look at what was being run there by Multiverse. So he was running the Azure Fate there with 3 Fentio in this case, but still you can see those key cards are still. This is actually a High Tomb Lord version. High Tomb Lord being something that does work rather nice with the Azure Fate mill, but that's obviously something that fell out of favor. But yeah, so this is a very early version of the deck, but you'll see a lot of things that are very similar, being even you've got Exarchs, you've got counters, you've got obviously the Azure Fate, you've got Extinction, you've got Kill, Fentio, Reese. In this case, this one is running Vampire Kings, we mentioned that in the chat just before. So a lot of the key cards, the key ones being Fentio, Azure, and Reese. That's obviously quite that's a staple for this type of deck. So that's something from early on. Let me actually make sure that's capturing properly. Yep, so that was something from back in 2015. If we go back down to the bottom again. So let's see,
You're off to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz.
I missed a follower alert there. Damon something, sorry I missed it. But thank you as well, much appreciated. So back to here, so you'll notice that on Hex Meta it does tell you the value of the decks here in this column. So you can actually tell, okay, alright, so for example this deck is obviously quite different from most, as it's a lot cheaper, being at 11,000 platinum. So let's just, for curiosity's sake, see what's happening there. In this case it's 2 Fentio, 2 Azure Fate, so it's still got that combo in there, but Drew's Colossal Walker as well, but it was very, very different. Maybe the player just didn't have the funds to buy all the cards he needed, or was just trying something different. But yeah, a lot of people have tried out Azure Fate with Fentio for quite some time, so there's a lot of different variations. Now when it comes to the more recent stuff, we'll see the top of the list here, and we've got Drazil, who's actually in the chat. So let's see if he's done anything different from the list we just looked at. Let's see if he's made any changes, or he's just a net decker. So he took out a Reese, I noticed. He's gone for double Rise Again. I actually don't mind that at all. For double Rise Again in the main. He's actually going for Vampire Princess in the main as well. So he's probably put some stuff in the reserve. So he's actually got 3 webs in the reserve. So he hasn't stuck with exactly the same. So he's actually gone with Inquisitor in the side, which is a good choice in my opinion. As it's going to be lackluster against certain decks, especially against Spell Shield. which is obviously fairly prevalent in the meta now. So he's made some choices there, very likely because of that. And yeah, so he's gone for, you know, as I said, the Vampire Princess's main, and looks like yeah, I can't exactly run. So yeah, I think it's just mainly taking those out. What else is he taking out there? Yeah. So let's actually have a quick look here.
Listen.
Oh, so Brood Baron, I think he took out. Let me actually double check that. So possibly he's taking out Brood Baron. I kind of agree with that as well. I don't think it's necessary. It's not bad. It's just, yeah, it's obviously lackluster if you're, you know, if you're just copying normal spiders. And he's probably going to die fairly quickly as well. But it is another threat that your opponent is going to want to deal with. But I could be wrong. Let's double check that there. Did he get rid of the Baron? Yeah, it does seem to be the case. But yeah, Zartaxis definitely is something I know I did when I ran this deck back in the days. I definitely kept a one-off of him in there, as he can be very, very nice. Show your sideboard. I mean, it's not my sideboard. It's just the list that the Sirius ran. So there it is again. So you can find his list on. I don't actually know if it's on HEX Meta. I would imagine so, but I just went to hextcg.com, went to the tournament stuff, and found the deck list from the tournament, and went from there. You know, grabbed it from there, just so I'd made sure I had the exact list he ran at the Invitational. So that's it there.
Listen.
So yeah, let me go back to HEX Meta here. So let's check another one real quick, and then we'll jump into some games. So let's have a look. So we've got Dreaming Fox. Okay, so Peace Tinker here doing a. So again, you can look at the different values here, and you can be like, all right, you get an idea of how different they are. Like, for example, if we were to let's have a quick scroll down and see if we do see Sirius. I think he's on here somewhere. So this is very likely, yeah, this is before the Invitational, I believe. And let's actually have a look at his list on here. So you'll notice, alright, so one thing that looks like he's done in the main deck wise is take out one of Zartaxis as he was doing two, take out one Zentoth Inquisitor. He's obviously added Brood Baron. Wait, where is... Yeah, so that's some things I noticed real quickly there. He went to the one Monsoon, one less Rockcast. He's kept some of that the same, took out the Verdict. So that's you know, and then he's obviously changed that for the Invitational. But so just to give you an idea, since that is similar to what he did go with, one thing you can do with HEX Meta is like we can look and say, alright, so it's around probably 30,000 platinum for the list we just looked at, for the one I covering Incline. So, you know, then if you look at something like this, Peace Tinker, what's he got in there? Maybe he's got main deck Vampire Kings, let's find out. So, alright, so he's actually running 1-2 Malone, which is not adding much value, so what is he doing different? So, Bastard Spawn, again, though, not adding much. I don't actually mind that. It's something I've thought that could be alright in the deck. It's just another threat, but it is something that's hard to get in, and the double thresholds are a bit rough. But that's another thing he's done differently. He's running, okay, so this is probably where we're gonna see some of the price differences there because of double monsoons. So that adds a lot of value. And then the sideboard is quite different. 4 Sappers is a little strange, but yeah, Time Ripples. So he's gone with Exarchs in the reserves. So yeah, a lot of ways to run it. And yeah, so that was again, you can go to hexmeta.com and check out all that sort of stuff there. But for now, let's jump into a game. So who would like to challenge me first? And let's go to, let's see, just send me a whispering game. The first person to do that, I will then send you a challenge. And so you know, the first 2-3 people that send me a message here will battle. and then based on these matches, we'll see what what was our weaknesses, what was our potential strengths. Is there anything we might want to change for the deck based on what we go against here? So we have a Whisper. Let's check that out. One thing I will need to do here is change the screen. There we go. So let's get the challenge going. There we go. Send challenge. So Jack, you'll be next. So let me read the chat here, see if there was any questions I missed or anything worth pointing out. Dreaming Fox is alright. I mean, extra health, and yeah, I don't think I would just want more spiders. there's 3 spiderling eggs. It's just really good value. Really good value. Alright, so here we go. We're up against Rutherford Banks. Too early to tell if this is like Blood Diamond, Wild Diamond. We shall find out. And I have a very good hand here. Very, very beautiful hand. So let's do it. This hand is very, very good. We've got our combo. We've got a very nice threshold starting point here. And the tricky, well, I mean, I was going to say the tricky thing is wondering what to grab here, but we're going to grab a Blood first with the Jewel Shard. So we're against Wild Diamond. This is actually a very good matchup for this deck. It all depends on I mean, it all depends really on if he has like a puck. He needs to put on early pressure. Otherwise, I could just, yeah. It's one of the weaknesses of Wild Diamond, but he's running Breeze, which is not completely standard. So yeah, so I'm going to play the Blood here. Do that. We can grab a Sapphire with this later, but we'll not use it yet because we may draw a Sapphire. But we still may need to get a Sapphire with that because of the counter magic we just drew. But yeah, this is a very nice hand. So we can get down the turn 3 Penteo.
That's cool.
But yeah, so we're not going to be seeing. Well, we might see a puck. So he does have the Brave, obviously. So if he has a puck here, which it does seem to be the case, or it's a Chlorophylla. Chlorophylla would be much better, but it's a puck. That was not what I wanted to see. So now I'm in a bit of trouble, and that's the way this deck really wins against certain decks. Is it needs to get puck. Puck is a very big, it's very reliant on getting puck early against decks like this, and like Winter Moon for example. Without that, the pressure is just not enough, and for example now, I don't have an answer for this. So what I'm going to have to do here is first let's grab a Sapphire. But yeah, I'm going to have to just hope he doesn't have like a turn 3 Root Father or just something really scary, because yeah, Root Father is unlikely though, because it only works based on the amount of 5 cost or higher troops. So unless he has let's see, 4 fatties and top to shard or something. No, actually, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, unless he has like 4 fatties in hand, and one of them's Root Father. And even if he does, I'm basically gonna be dead unless I get to an extinction. So, and then it will come down to this charge power, how quickly it gets to that. But anyway, let's play out the focus here. We don't really get anything we want. We'll take another. Well, I don't really need it. So yeah, I don't actually need the shards, so I'll grab that as I'm more likely to draw shards. He's probably not going to be too relevant, but it's all going to come down to the pressure he puts on me right now. As I said, if he plays a Root Father, turn 3 Root Father is very bad against a lot of decks. So yeah, if he however just does like Eternal Sage or that can still do a good chunk of damage, but less stressful than well, it all depends. But, so he's actually only getting 3, so he has 3 big guys in hand. So so it is an eternal stage, so there we go. Good powers. Plays this resource there, so going to gain a diamond, I would imagine, just so he gains some health. Still deciding. He's actually possibly deciding if he wants to get in 4 damage here. He's going for wild, so he's going to, yeah, it's the right move. Put in damage here, so he's going to hit me for 4 here by the effect here from the Eternal Sage. Giving +3 to a troop, +3/+3 to a target troop when using a wild shard. So that's some damage. So now I'm going to play Panteo, and then I'm going to take even more damage. But potentially it'll work. So we play the blood resource here. Now the bad thing about this matchup is we know he's running Crocker Free. Now I'm going to use the charge power. Maybe it's actually wrong to do so here, and the reason being is if I do hit one, great, I get a chump blocker. But then if he has a Crocosaur, I basically I'll kick myself, right? But and we know he has 2 other fatties in hand, based on the puck activation when he was exhausted. So luckily I didn't hit one, but we don't know if he has a Croco, but it'll. Yeah, he could now potentially do another Sage into a resource. Oh, I've called that as well. The wizard powers are going to kill me. So if he has a wild, wait a second, he's doing a Chlorophylla is coming down right here. So that's pretty bad. That's going to now double buff this for 11 damage right there. So I'm going to need to get incredibly lucky to... I either need to get Extinction, or I just need to get lucky with Azure Fate with only 3 Tarantulas in his deck. So very unlikely that'll work. But yeah, so it's not looking good for me. Not looking good, and that's the thing about the early puck enables the deck to just put on the pressure quickly, as it does in Cressida, for example. But yeah, without it can be too slow against a lot of decks. So for some reason I have so we'll take that off. All right, so we draw a Sapphire, which is fine. So we'll play it, and it's not looking great for me. So we're going to do that. And I could, if I really wanted to, play this. Now I'm in a tough position here. I either play this now and minus down, say for example this, but then if he plays a wild shard, well, he's then going to be able to buff. I mean, I can block with this maybe. I mean, if he's got Croco, let's say he's got Croco. I play this out, eats both. I die. So I die to Croco if I do that. So it's like I could take the risky play, which is do this and hope for a Tarantula, which is probably my best bet. But again, it is only milling for 4, and it is only so yeah, so it's a tough position here, because like I can do this, and if he has Croco, I still could die even if I hit a Tarantula. Less likely, of course, because I can kill one of those. But the odds of it happening are very, very slim. So yeah, I'm very likely just dead. But the odds of this working is very slim, but it's going to be a bit more exciting if it works. So I'm going to probably try that. This is probably the correct play, doing the Zentoth, but that's just no fun. But so let's just do this and see what happens. We're going to just do it now, even though I can do it on his turn, as I'm going to need to do it anyway. So, oh baby, we made the right call there, potentially. Oh wow, I just hit 2 of them. I'm a cheater. I am a cheater. So you can see a lot of cards being milled there. But that has brought me back in this game. So if he does have the Croco, he can still eat these if he likes. But so I made the right call there. I mean, that was extremely lucky. As I said, the odds of that happening there. So we can actually have a look now. We can see that there's actually 3 Crocosaurs now in the grave. And maybe he doesn't have it, but he could still have the one other one in hand. But that has turned this game around quite a bit. I actually maybe made a mistake there. I should have killed the puck. I got a bit too excited and just collect stuff. But, it's fine. Still should have done it on his turn so Croc couldn't eat them. Yeah, I mean, I'm not too fast. But you're right. I mean, potentially. So that was perfect example where as your fate is the only thing that wins you the game. Yeah. It's pretty brutal. So he's playing a Ruby there. But yeah, the puck, I mean, maybe, because he only has, in this case, two cards in hand. So the puck, very unlikely. I mean, you could still play a Root Father or something, but that isn't really a huge deal. Since I've got this for next turn, so I can just take whatever I like. So he does, well, actually no, I just died. He has main, he had the, oh, he got the Ruby and has... So yeah, I did make a mistake there. It's because I just got too excited and didn't stop to think. I just killed the two fatties as we saw. But as I then said afterwards, I should have probably killed the puck, and maybe that stops him playing the Root Father there. But he is running damage main deck there, so I do die, sadly. Oh well. That's the end of game one. So the damage will trigger to my face there. So he had. I guess he topped the... I didn't actually check to see if he topped that or what, but... Yep, I died! Oh well. And that was my fault though, as I said, I should have killed that puck. Now in this case, the deck I'm against is not running many actions, so the Vampire Princesses are not that great. They're pretty bad, so I'm not going to bring those in. However, again, because the deck that I'm against is very reliant on puck, we're going to bring in double Rockhouse. We're going to bring in one Monsoon as well. And we're going to have a look at what we're going to take out. So, Exarchs are okay. Inquisitor, very lackluster. Let's take that out. That's an easy one. Brood Baron, don't really care about him. And that's I like that. Still might want to try get, like, another Rise Again wouldn't be the worst here, but I think one is fine. So I think that's the changes I would make here. So yeah, let's do that. Let's hit save. It's not take too long. So yeah, my mistake there. I mean, I potentially turned that game around if I had just killed the puck, but as I said, I didn't think. I just clicked, and that's obviously important to think about all your decisions. About what can my opponent be doing next turn? If I kill his resource generator, I mean, killing the puck. Yes, maybe it only generated one resource there. Maybe it wouldn't have mattered. I'm not actually sure. I think he tapped puck and the Brave, which if he did, had I killed one of them, I wouldn't have died there. But anyway, let's play first, of course. So let's see what sort of hand I get here. Ooh, alright. This hand has quite the potential. So we've got that Rockhouse. So let's grab the blood here. So we have the early removal for a puck. And again, the deck without puck can be very slow. It does still have, in this case he's got Braves and Chlorophilia. So he can still ramp and get, his 5 drops down quickly. But the Root Father, without a puck, Root Father being one of its biggest threats, without getting that down early, can be stuff that's beatable, basically. So we shall see how that goes. By the way, if you do ask me a question in the chat, please put @HEX Havoc at the front of your question, just so it'll highlight and I'll notice it. Otherwise, it's very easy for me to miss your questions. So if you do have a question about the deck or anything related to the meta, feel free to ask. And next up, I'm versing Jackie Shah, but then potentially I can verse you after that, Nero. Depends on how much time. So I don't want the show going too long. Nero. Yes. Alright, so we want to obviously arcane focus here for a. I mean, yeah, we want to get a blood. There we go. So extinction would be great, but we want the blood. We want to get down our threat. A threat that the deck, you know, Prototype 0 is obviously not running a standard list, but if he was running, for example, the list that JJ and Sato were running from the Invitational, then the only thing we'd have to worry about is Martyr, as potentially a 4-off from 2 from the reserve. So, you know, the deck doesn't run many answers in it, so, you know, that's where things like this can just beat the deck quite convincingly. So we'll see if he's got that. He will have to use his next turn to do it, but potentially he can do a Martyr and a Puck or something in the same turn. I'm going to use the charge power here. So even if he does, though, we'll put down another one. And then it's very unlikely he has another answer. So is there going to be a Martyr here? I mean, he could be running different stuff, because again, he has potentially changed the deck. So thankfully for me, he's played out the Puck. We've got the answer there. So he's going to be very slow off the gate. He did get a Chloro, so it helps a little bit. But let's just say he plays a normal shard next turn. Well, he's... Okay, so he did actually have a shard here. So he still potentially can do a 5-drop next turn, but that's still not going to be... It's not quick. It's not... The pressure's not quick enough, basically. How important is Reese in the deck? I mean, he's basically just another win condition. It's you know, another great card, but I think you could get away without running it. You're just going to want to find alternate win conditions, basically. So within Blood and Sapphire, you're going to want to look for something else that can potentially win you the game. Potentially either that synergizes with Azure Fate, or, you know, like Tomb Lord, for example, which is not... I wouldn't recommend it. It is high cost. But, yeah, or you could just go more control, for example. But yeah, you can get away with doing less Reese if you like, or you can get away with not doing it. So what am I doing here? So I got a message. Yeah, so that's... See, without the Puck, like, he's saying his hand's pretty slow. It's now going to be extremely slow. Like, without, like I said, the deck, Wild Diamond, like, I've never been a huge fan of the Wild Diamond deck, because it's very, very reliant on the Puck. So I'm going to now tap the Vampire here. We're going to play the Jewel Shard. Just grab whatever, doesn't really matter. And then we'll pass the turn. So I'm not, like, again, the best he can do right now is, okay, that's a spider. So now a Croco is open, which will be a little annoying, but he doesn't have the wild. He doesn't have a third wild there, so again, like, the best he can really do is a 5-drop, so, you know, Eternal Sage we see again. It's going to do a bit of damage, but I'll leave this back, as it's unlikely he's going to play another Ruby. So we'll be able to chump block, you know, potentially 8 damage. So we'll just tap the Pantera again. We're going to play the Sapphire, and now we just hold open counter magic while we make a bunch of Tarantulas. He might have a Ruby, he might try a Croco. If he tries Croco, we get to counter. So, never mind, well, that's dead. So that's incredibly lucky right there from... Was that 2 activations? I don't even... Yeah, I guess it was. Yeah, I think so. So yeah, that's very nice. That's that dealt with. So yeah, it pretty much going to be extremely hard for him to turn this game around now. As like that, I could stop it. I don't even think I need to.
You're off to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz.
The angel there. It's very slow damage. So we'll not use a very important counter here to stop that just yet. Thank you for the follow there for whoever that was. Sorry, I didn't see it. So we'll play that. Charge power. We're going to hit the 6 here. We're going to do the focus. We're going to grab... Alright, we can Inquisition here, which is really nice. Potentially we get rid of... we'll have a look. So Crocosaur is going bye-bye. Charge Colossus is going to be way too slow. So we'll just take the Croco out there. But now that we know his hand, we can... You know, when you're using cards like that, a good practice is to take a screenshot if there's a lot of stuff. In this case, I know, you know, it's a Sage, which you'll play next turn unless you top deck something better. But yeah, so I can if I like counter the Sage, and I might, because you know I'm still going to be racing this. So very likely we'll see the Sage here. We shall see, and we do. So I'm going to just stop that. Maybe it's not right to stop it, but in this case, you know, maybe he's top decked the Root Father. He's still going to need. Okay, he just actually quits. All right, so he was like, screw this. Let's go to game 3. All right, so I'm going to leave it as is there. You know what? Let's get another Rise Again in, and let's take out. Exarchs are pretty decent. Can be pretty decent. Let's actually take out this guy, just for a bit of fun. Rise Again can be very nice to steal. You know, like a Charge Colossus would be fine. Stealing a Croco can be very nice. And since we do have multiple ways to put, you know, we can Inquisition and put something in there that we want to then steal later. Can be very nice. So game 3 here against Prototype 0. Oh, that's a terrible hand. Terrible. So you're gonna have to mulligan this one. Just it doesn't do anything unless it draws 2 blood, and even then, it's, you know, even if it draws 1, Exarchs are not going to cut it. We need to draw 2 blood to stop an early puck, so he's mulligan at least. So we're going to do the same here. This is not a keepable hand. So let's draw again. Hopefully at least get a blood. I'm going to have to keep that one and just hope to draw 2 bloods in a row, as this hand has all the things I need to potentially stop my opponent. You know, the control cards, plus also my combo. So as long as I draw 2 blood, which does include, you know, many blood sources in the deck, from the Silks, the Jewel Shards, and then 9 blood sources, I believe it is. So, you know, pretty good odds that we hit it, but if we don't, we're dead if he has. Okay, so no, he's actually kept a one shard. No, never mind. But so he could do a puck next turn, but it all depends on his hand here. So he did mulligan as well. But I need to draw blood. I need to draw a blood shard right now, or at least next turn. And that should help. So we're going to do that first in case we get the blood. And we do grab one of those Silks. Luckily we have that Venom in hand, so we can now grab a blood resource. So we shall do that, and we shall pass the turn. So there we go. A lot of ways to get to the blood. You know, with, you know, a lot of, you know, we've got basically 8 Jewel Shards. 9 normal shards, and then obviously Arcane Focus as a 4 of to also help, as we just did. So one of the good things about the resource base there, while it can be tricky at times, we have a lot of ways to help out there. So does he have the puck? If he doesn't have the puck here, then again the pressure is minimal. But even if he, like, because if he does, it's actually, you know, if I draw a blood and he has the puck, which it doesn't look like he does, but let's say he does, we obviously have to kill it because it slows him down significantly without it. If he doesn't and I draw a blood, well then I get to put my threat down that he's unlikely to have an answer for. But we may see him later. You know, oh, we do get it, so there we go. Now I'm actually going to do you know, since he does have potentially ability to play it, I'm not going to use the Charge Crank here. We haven't made any spiders. We're not going to do it. We don't want to just die because I got greedy. You know, this is not something I need to use yet. We want Fentio to stay alive. We want to just get activations, right? It'd be silly to use this, hit a spider, and then get Crocoed straight away to open myself up to that. So you have to think about those sort of things. You know, there's a Wild Shard, so he has the ability to play Croco. We're probably going to see a Sage. It's generally the go-to card. There he is again. That is still annoying because Kill obviously doesn't work against Sage. But that is fine. We've got the combo. Drawing a counter would be decent. Well, Fentio is not really what we wanted. So, I mean, now that I've got Kill open, now we can use the Charge Barrel, knowing that if I hit a spider, he will very likely just go, woohoo, yeah, Croco, let's go. Which, you know, yes, I have potentially several cards that stop it, but he would still try it. You know, he has to, very, very likely would try it. So we shall see what he does. So I didn't obviously hit one. Actually, it might have been not wrong to kill the... No, okay, he's done the jewel shard, that's fine. So he's gonna choose diamond there, so he's not going for the additional damage. That's fine by me. The health really doesn't matter, because it's all... This deck is all about just, you know, well, first of all, we can just win through mills, so... I will very likely use the kill on the Brave here, not right this second. Then again, there's really nothing he can really play anymore this turn. So yeah, I'm just gonna kill it now. Like it's you know, maybe he'll surprise me and play something, but I'm pretty sure he played the diamond, so he's only got 4 open. So really, it looks like that's the end of his turn. So I'll just kill that now. Like I don't need to do this yet. It's better to do it when you've got more. Okay, so he has a puck, but it's still something I'm gonna need to kill, which is fine because I've still got it. So we're gonna do that. Another one. I could even extinction, and I'm actually tempted because I do have another one, obviously. Yeah, I'm gonna actually do that. I'm gonna use the extinction here, and that'll very likely mean, you know, we might even see just a Croco come down if he's got that. Oh, damn it! The trolls are real. Alright, so Soul Marble is not a problem at all. That's not going to be quick enough. I say that, it could be. This Soul Marble is a way to stop Tarantulas from obviously doing their thing, but we're going to win with the mill. So now what I have to worry about is obviously Croco. But I'm not going to play her. Well, maybe I should. I don't know. I might actually do... Nah, we'll play into a Croco. Maybe I won't. The correct move is to not play into a Croco here. Because I could wait and, you know, draw a shard, so... Alright, well, we'll do the correct play. We'll do the correct play. We'll not be silly. Like, the odds of him having Croco, and not, you know, it's just as much chances, you know. Anyway. I'm not sure how many terrors I put in. Was it 3 activations? If so, then that's really good. And I'm more than happy to do this. But, yeah. It is just the smarter play to... So let's see what we hit here. So he actually, he's got, you know, a lot more removal in the side potentially. There's a Pride's Fall there. So if I hit a resource, there it is. So we can actually get the spiders here because we have all thresholds met. So really good value there. We also get another 3, so that's 6 spiders we just put in the deck. We now get to... So he's going to do that. That's fine. So I still could be in a bit of trouble, depending on what he's jamming over there. You know what? Let's just play this. Actually, no, I stuffed up. I stuffed up there. So the reason why I stuffed up there is, you know, Kill obviously is not going to stop a Croco now that he's got the ability to get this online and then do Croco. So that's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. Bugger. And then if he's changed to... Okay, he doesn't have a Ruby yet, so never mind. Let's just attack with both. So if he has Croco, yeah. Oh well, we'll see. So my Kill's basically a dead card at this point, obviously. So it's all going to come down to if he has the Croco. I mean, I still have a chance to... But, so a normal spider doesn't matter, but then the fact that I'm not going to get the double mill because I don't have 4. But yeah, he has to have Croco though, so... Ooh, that's actually a big deal. Wait, is there one in the grave and I didn't check? Nope. So that's fine. Because he's got his charge power. But, like, even if he gets the Root Father, it's just a, you know, it's not a big deal, honestly. Like, it's a big guy, but it's not going to get the damage into play and the life drain. which the life drain obviously doesn't matter. We're going to add more, yeah, so I'm probably going to win next turn, just with this next Azure. So we shall see. Again, if anyone has questions, please start off the question with @HEX Havoc, so I notice it. To do with either the deck or anything for that matter. So yeah, he brings that back. Again, it doesn't matter. If he had the ruby, that would obviously be better. It'd be 10 damage to my face, but it doesn't really matter here. I got a lot of people wanting to play Roy. Next up is actually Jackishah, and then actually I don't know if I'll do more because it's, you know, it does use up a lot of time. We'll see how it goes though. So now we activate the Fanteo. So yeah, let's see if we win. High probability of getting the mill here. And there it is, Tarantulas. So that's very likely going to see his deck go bye-bye, as we have enough. We have a critical amount, and they're all gone. So that's a good game. And there goes the deck. Bye-bye. Crocosaur on the bottom there. So that is the combo. Good stuff. So thankfully, the soul armaments here is making it so we don't have to do triggers. So that's that. And just for a bit of lulz, let's kill her. Thanks, you did your job. Oh, I was gonna kill her. What are the worst matchups for this deck, and how do you deal with Benvolio Burn? So Benvolio Burn it has some similar weaknesses to like the deck I just first there, being the fact that it is very reliant on its early drops, and in the case of Benvolio Burn, without something like an Anarchist or like Cerebral Fulmination, a lot of the times it just doesn't have enough pressure, and it doesn't have enough cards to put on that pressure because it doesn't have the card draw. And then a lot of times people will then just use several burns to your opponent's face, knowing that these burns have limited range, so they're not going to kill, you know, fatties and all that sort of stuff. So they do it to the face, try to get at their early Phoenix and just kill you that way. So then if you answer the Phoenix, then they're likely dead. So there's a lot of weaknesses to the deck. You know, again, very reliant on those early card drawing. You know, the Anarchist is the big one. Cerebral Fulmination is another option because it needs to just keep having gas. Otherwise, as I said, a lot of the times you'll see people just use all their like 2 to 3 bones to the face to get out an early Phoenix. And if that's not doing anything, well then, yeah, they're likely done at that point. But the deck is, you know, it's something that can be technically anything, but, you know, it's very reliant on its curve to do so. This deck, you know, in terms of sideboard, could put Cripple in the sideboard. Cripple's a great answer for Phoenix. Something that, you know, my Winter Moon list runs, and is a great card to bring in. As for what are the worst matchups for the deck, let's actually get challenged to Jack, since I did say he'd be next. So maybe he'll be running Benvolio, who knows? But hopefully he's still there. So yeah, the worst matchups. I mean, honestly, it has a fairly good matchup against most things. Against like hard aggro, it, you know, would then be very, you know, potentially very reliant on things like, you know, on not Heatwave, sorry, on Extinction, because it doesn't have Heatwave, and that's, you know, one of the big killers of, like, you know, like the more like this deck here is actually the one I was about to mention, is probably going to be the worst matchup, especially with a mulligan hand. I'm actually probably just dead. He actually got the play as well, so yeah, this hand is going to lose. I'm going to keep it because I don't want to mulligan to 5. But this, as I was about to say, is probably going to be the worst matchup, because the biggest card I need is my Extinction, you know, against this matchup. I don't have reliable early removal. You know, I have Rock Cast, but that's expensive. You know, well, I say expensive. It's 2 costs. You know, but it's something I may be only able to do on 3. But yeah, like these Inquisitions are not great. But yeah, I could just be dead here. Like, it's gonna come down to Extinction, as I was saying. Potentially, like if he's got Anarchist here, Even a... Okay, well, we could have a slow hand. Savage Raider, so he's going to give it speed, I would imagine, for 4 damage. But yeah, so this is one of the matchups that can be, without, you know, access to the early, you know, really good removal like heat waves and burns and all that, it can be, you know, this type of matchup is a lot tougher for this deck. But yeah, at least not turn 1 Quash. I mean, it's still probably enough. So we're going to Inquisition here. I'm still taking a minimum of 4 damage. And maybe I get rid of an Anarchist here or something. Okay, I'm going to have to get... Okay, so the hand is actually not that bad. So I'm going to take 5 damage. I'm still probably going to be fairly reliant on... Yeah, no, this is actually okay. This is beatable. That's a beatable hand. But remember, he's obviously going to draw a card. But the you know, Fisher Smith and another Ripper is fine. So that's good. And like Fentio, even Fentio by himself can block. But yeah, like it's still going to be rough because I am still taking 5 here. So I'm going to 13. Sorry, 14. I just said the wrong way around. 12. I went up a number instead of... Yes, I'm going to 12 here. Still pretty rough. Not exactly what I needed to draw there. So yeah, as much as I would like to add 6 spiders here, I mean I could do it, and that would actually be very helpful against this aggression. But I mean, obviously it's a very small chance, and I do need the sapphire, so we're not gonna get too greedy here. And I'm still gonna be able to eat something, but I'm still, yeah, we'll see. He hasn't restarted. Oh no. So we're gonna take basically another 6 potentially. Like if he gets a shard, he'll put it onto this. Okay, that's bad. That's a lot of... See, it's too much aggression, most likely. He can now charge power... Oh, he actually charge powers over there. I guess it's not wrong. So he's going to give himself speed, so he's going to keep the shift. So I basically get to kill... I might as well kill a Ripper, I guess. But I'm still there for I'm taking 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 damage. So, and now I have a dead card and several dead cards in hand. So it's very likely I've lost this, as I have nothing I possibly need to. Actually, no, it doesn't even matter if I get rock cast. No, it does. It does matter. So a rock cast off this, or even just getting a kill off the top to kill this. But then all you need to do is top deck a troop and I'm dead. Otherwise I go to 1. Like it's yeah. It's not good. It's not good. My other option is to tap Fentio. Natural causes. How you going, buddy? Alright, so let's Arcane Focus. We did get the kill. Grab that. Liberty flubes. So I need him to draw a resource, and then I'm going to 1. So it's very likely I'm just dead. Again, it's not a. Well, drawing a spider would be great. Charge power went to troop. You couldn't what? No, I know. That's why it's not wrong what he did. He's also probably thinking about buffing it later in case, Anyway, so so I'm in trouble. If he draws a troop, I die. If he draws a burn, I die. A bolt, I die. I mean, there's many things he can top deck to just kill me here, and he got a troop. So I am dead. That is all she wrote. Too many troops. It was unlikely I was going to live there. I needed him to basically draw a shard. Everything else would kill me. From crushing blow, burns, troops, it's just too much that kills me there. So, good game. Let's go to the next. So, yeah, again, the sideboard is actually not even that great for aggression, from what I remember. So, in this case, I'm actually going to bring in these, because it's just... well, no, I did say, I mentioned this interaction here. We've got 2 of those. I'm going to bring in 2 of those. Because, I mean, the good thing about Mono Ruby like that deck specifically, it's extremely straightforward. You know what they're doing. You know. There's really, the main surprise that might be something like a solo battle, which is even risky in itself to do. But since it's very simplistic, very straightforward, it is something that is easy to counter. In this case, the sideboard isn't the greatest, but we have plenty of things we can take out from. Basic we can just ditch with all of Reese. He's not going to be relevant in this matchup. We take out the majority of our high cost cards. We still have to get rid of a lot more. Counter Magic can get out as well. So we're down to 62. Monsoon comes in even. Just, we can cast him on 3. So 3 for 3, so Extinction we definitely keep. It's actually something that's not, the fourth one is not in the side, so again, like I said, it's one of the most important, can be the most important cards in the matchup. We don't want to draw too many Fanteo, like I did in that game, so I'll take out one of those. I'm going to also take out an Azure Fate and an Inquisitor, and I think that'll do. So we'll do that, and we'll hit save there. So with what I've got there, that's, like a card like Sorrow or something you can put in the side, which would obviously be nice to bring in here, but it does still have certain targets that it won't kill. But Noxious Glory is another option, but then, you need to have something on the board to use it with, so it's also not great. So, if you were to get a Spider, then that gives you another target, but that's where you could, if you liked. If the meta was more aggro heavy, you could run Bertram as your champion to have a guaranteed target with Noxious Glory. It's a decent combination. So this is a pretty nice hand actually for against aggression. It's not bad. Exarch. If we can get another Exarch, that would be great. The Vampire Princess is also very good. I could actually have grabbed the Extinction there, obviously, and maybe I should have, as it is. Once this deck gets stopped, you basically just win, unless they got you so low that they can finish you off with very little. But yeah, I just okay. So he has the turn 1 Tusker. It's a bit of a problem, but not really, because he's going to need a bolt now. Which if he has a bolt, I'm going to take 2 damage. Exactly, he's going to do some work here. We'll hit a Spider Shard, which is actually really nice. So very likely he's running bolts. I mean, obviously he's running bolts. But does he have one? We're about to find out. Nope, he would have done it already. So we're going to see a Ripper. And will we see an attack even? We do see an attack. So that very likely means Crushing Blow. Which, I mean, we want to trade with this guy still. So Crushing Blow. 3, 2, okay, it's just a burn. Alright, that's fine. That's fine. Alright, so we've got rid of 2 cards there. Oh, we get the Extinction anyway, that is beautiful. So, again, now we know he didn't have the bolt, or he just... Oh, sugar tits. I just stuffed up. I forgot that I didn't have a Venom there. So, sugar tits indeed. I just stuffed up, but it's alright, I got Kill Open. But I did do a flute there by now not getting the blood. I wanted to play the princess, obviously very good against this deck, but it's okay. Like, he's gonna do a speed troop here, hopefully an anarchist. I want something of value to kill. But even if he does like a Tusker, charge powers it, puts this onto it, that would be fine too. Chowder, what are you guys talking about? Chowder. Hey, my computer fan shut up. Maybe it actually died. My graphics card fan is... Like, one of them isn't spinning properly. Let me actually check my temperatures here real quick. Alright, so that's fine. We can wait for him to get that speed, which he'll do with its own effect, of course, as it is also 1 cost. And now we'll just kill that. So I take 1 damage here. So if he's too slow off the mark here, he's pretty much lost the chance to beat him. I was on the play, obviously. Him getting the play in game 1 is actually a very big deal. It's going to mean it's going to be very tough for me to... Okay, so that's good. So now we'll get the blood. We'll get that sucker. We'll now put down the princess. I'm going to actually... Let's see. My graphics card temperature. What did I have? It's actually fine. It's at 37 degrees. So I'm going to quickly check. Maybe I shouldn't check. Because the fan's not making a noise at the moment, so maybe it's... You know, I mean, it's still probably not spinning correctly, but I don't want to, like, touch it, and then it starts going wow, wow. So burn to the ground, that's his whole turn done. So again, I'm taking 1 damage. So there's pretty much at this point there's really not really a chance I lose this game. It would be extremely... Like, I would need to just draw all shards for the rest of the game. Like, again, the deck is so straightforward, it needs to be very aggressive, and I'm still at 18 health. We're very late into this game. That's going to stop my heals here, but whatever. I mean, if he has more troops, he has to put them down. He can't just, you know what, I'm going to play around Extinction. I'm going to Extinction anyway, though. But, which I don't need to run this. I could just do that. Take another 1. But, I'll just use the Extinction. Unless I draw something better. Another removal, that's fine. So let's just do that. Remember, we're getting spiders in the deck. So, it's going to be extremely hard. Now, the reason why I decided to do that there is because, yes, I stopped the heal. Like, I take less damage, but I also don't heal with this. So I'm going to negate that damage anyway, just unless he has another one of those. So that doesn't matter. Yeah, so he had, you know, one of these at least in his hand. So he was holding stuff back. He was playing around Extinction. But it still doesn't matter. Still doesn't matter. So drawing a Fentio would be good. Okay, so I am just drawing shards. It's not what I wanted. So we're going to kill here, and we're going to leave up the Kiss, because he'll then charge power over here. But he knows I've got something, and you know, unless there's no reason for me to kill that. So I could still lose if I, like as I said, the only way I lose is if I keep drawing shards. I am going to obviously heal for the 2 here, so I'm going to take 3 damage still. And that's where, as I said, if I keep drawing shards, then yes, I can still lose to just even these little turds. But, alright, even that's helpful. If he draws nothing, nothing, I can... Like, I also very likely... Well, not very likely, but there's a decent chance I hit a spider. And even 1 spider is very good against this deck, obviously. So it all comes down to what he just got there. I'm still going to play this out in response to his attack. And potentially eat this little guy. But he could have got a burn, So we did get a spider, there we go, that's what I wanted. So we go bang, bang, and if he didn't draw anything relevant there, well then he's done. And it seems to be the case, so that's very likely a shard, or it's just another troop. It's a shard. So there we go. And why not use kill? I mean, it doesn't really matter. So we now play out a princess. It's just going to start healing me. We can start swinging with a sorceress here. So yeah, he's now, yeah. There's so many bad draws in the deck. You know, obviously shards are bad draws, but just all those little 1/1 troops are just bad. And there's some insurance for later, but yeah, there's as I said, as long as I don't draw just shards, I pretty much can't lose. I mean, yeah, I could have waited, it just didn't really matter, did it? Another spider. But yeah, so the problem is going to be game 3, because he's going to be on the plane. And the sideboard for this deck is, as I said before, not the greatest. I did the best I could with what I had available. I think the way I sideboarded was basically the only options, you can really go for. Another shard there, so as you can see, I'm just beating him down with these little guys. And we get another removal there. Quick action speed, so yeah. We'll be going to game 3 for sure. As I said, there's really nothing, unless he's got some surprises in the deck. So he just decides, yeah, another shard. So, yeah, as I said, there's really nothing else I mean, I could do Withering Touch if I really wanted. It's not the worst, because they obviously do run a good chunk of actions. So I might do that, but I don't know what... Inquisition, actually. Let's take out 2 of those and go for 2 of those. That's actually probably fine. I mean, obviously there's a chance that this whiffs, which is the downside. But considering I do have a lot of things for doing on 2, I mean, whatever. maybe that changes what now makes me lose the game. We'll see. We'll see. But him being on the play is, if I was against, the key to beating this type of aggro deck in game one with most decks, if you're running a deck that is okay against that, aggro decks in main deck wise, if you get the play, well, that obviously potentially helps out significantly. But if they get the play, then you the high probability you lose, and then you have to, as long as your sideboard is good enough, again, the deck is that straightforward that if you've got a very strong sideboard, like if you're in Ruby, for example, I was running Cressida the other day, Voices also running Cressida who won it, if you've got a good sideboard, like for example, we're using 4 Heat Waves, Burns, just Cluckadons, Carnosaurs, Crocos, all that is accessible, and it just, the deck really has no chance. So I actually lost to an aggressive deck. It wasn't this one, it was actually Blood Ruby Orcs, but the only reason I lost was because I multi-5 in game 3 and drew all shards after that. But the deck was just all counter. It becomes basically a counter deck for something as straightforward as this. So very risky deck to run, because there's lots of decks out there that can just become full counters to the deck after sideboard. So, he's actually kept a 1 resource hand, I just noticed. So that's very good, because that means he doesn't have access to Bolt, but he still has access to potentially Crushing Blow. I mean, thanks to Lethal, that won't matter, Crushing Blow, but he might just do a burn, but now he has access to a Bolt. So he's going to Chant Power. Now, since it's very likely he's got something, I'm still going to block the 2-1, of course. Force him to use something, be it a burn or whatever. So it's a Crushing Blow. Now, like I said, it's going to do an extra point of damage. So I'm going to take 4 here, which is okay. But the fact that it still dies because of the lethal is very relevant, making Exarch a very nice troop for against that deck. So, the spiders again, very good. I'm just gonna kill this. Well, there's no reason not to wait. Not really any reason not to. And then let's say I kill that. He brings out maybe. Oh wow, that's okay. There's a reason not to kill it. Of course. So I misspoke there. There is a reason not to. Hitting a spider is great, because now he's going to try a Crushing Blow, and I'm going to kill it. There it is. So, I did misspeak. And that's a huge deal. Like, again, he's not off to enough of an aggressive start, so it's actually incredibly hard for him to win now. And that's, that's one of the main reasons why I don't like that style of deck. That's a very nice draw. So I'm not going to use this yet, as I don't have the thingamabobby. And I don't even know. You know what? I'm going to try grab a Fentio. Let's grab one. Let's not try. Oh, close. That's still a very good pickup, though. As if he has a bolt, he'll use that. If he doesn't hit a shard, well then this dies for the spider, and that's great, because that's all he'll be able to do if he doesn't hit a shard. And he's going to want to kill this, obviously. So yeah, see what he does. Alright, so we're going to trade there. Does he have another Crushing Blow? Well, I don't care. He does not. So that's that dealt with for free spider. Ember Spire, that's fine. We can rock cast that. Get a Withering Touch. Now we're not going to use that. That would be silly, because we want to try and steal an action. First, let's rock cast. Now I am going to attack him and see. Now it's unlikely. We know he's not going to have a bolt, but he could have like a burn. As a burn doesn't work against this, obviously, so we might see a burn. You see a Furious Taskmaster. So you know what? I'm not gonna use that here, because if he had a bolt, he would have done it. I mean, and if he top decks one, well, so be it. So let's see if that card there is a bolt. It's a Ripper. So he top decked a Ripper. That means he's probably got a Tusker or something. Or he just wants to hit me for one. So that also probably means that means he's got a burn in hand. So he's got a burn here, and he's going to just do it to my face because he. Oh no, he does have the Tusker. So that's a high probability of no actions then. If he had one, he would have very likely. I mean, he's either gambling, which is obviously a possibility. But so here's where I can do something very nice. So we'll see if if we hit an action, which I think is a very. We already know one's a Taskmaster, so we now know his hand. So that's good. Now what I'm going to do is actually no, I don't need to do that. So we know now that this is actually going to succeed, and we're going to be able to eat this Tusker. With oh shit, I stuffed up. Misplay. Wop wop wow. Hunt. So one thing to remember, folks. Double Sapphire is required to play Azure Fate as quick. I am a flibbity floobs. Oh well, I'm still in a fine position though. That is a mistake by me there. So technically, I mean, I should have just hardcasted it. He's actually... he played around Azure Fate, but he also forgot about it. So we've both done a punt there. He played around the Azure Fate. So let's add punt again. He played around the card that I can't cast. So again, remember, it is important to remember that the effect here for quick is double Sapphire Threshold. So his last card was the Furious Taskmaster. Oh, that's pretty damn nice. That's pretty damn nice. So I'm just gonna extinction. I am not watching, I'm listening, and smiley face. Yeah. So he's listening to the fact that he's about to be extinction. And he knows I have Azure Fate. Cheaty McCheater. So he's gonna get, he's gonna be able to hit me for 2, at minimum. But yeah, so I'm still obviously in a fantastic position. Just, I want to get, obviously I'd like to get value out of this. Or I just want to get a Sapphire. So he draws a shard. So again, it's still incredibly hard for me to lose this, this late into the game. With being at this much health. Obviously very, very hard indeed. So I can just hardcast this, maybe get some spiders. But we'll see. And alright, so we'll just play that out. We're gonna play that. There's a spider and 2, so now we can double block there. We also get rid of a bolt, which is nice. So yeah, this is pretty good. Pretty good. But yeah, so this would have actually been better as a Inquisition. But yeah, it's fine. Yeah, you know what? Let's just trade this. Because he has a lot of... Okay, so he did... Okay, that's fine. He didn't think I was going to do that, so he thought I would do the double block. So I actually got him there. I got him! That worked out better for me. Because I take no damage. Well, that's a pretty good draw. So we can do that now. Minus that down to nothing. So basically the game's over now. Again, the deck is very straightforward. I don't recommend it. Can be good in if you make the right meta call and everyone's running extremely slow decks and they have bad sideboards. Then sure you can. Yeah, I guess I want the Sapphire. Yeah, sure. I don't need more spiders. I'm gonna get more here anyway. But yeah. Can you teach me how to not get shard screwed when I play constructed? No, I can't help you with that. Sorry. I get shard screwed and flooded like the best of them. 50 shards. Yeah, work. There you go. Chat helping out. Alright, so there's a Fanteo. Now, this card in his hand is going to be a Crushing Blow or something like that. Or it's a burn. Alright, that's fine. Yep. If it was a shard, he would have played it. So, yeah. There's no way he gets back in this game. Because there's really no answers for this card in a single card in the deck besides Burn to the Ground. But he needs, in this case, it's not going to be an answer. So I'm at least going to get 3 Tarantulas. Because Burn to the Ground requires him to have a shard first. He burns himself in the face there. See that withering touch, making him now not able to keep that in his hand, forcing out the burn. Now he can't double burn the Fentio. So we're gonna just tap that. Let's see if we can hit some tarantulas straight up. Very unlikely. We hit a spider. That's fine. So yeah, that is the game. There is actually no way to get back in the game, obviously, for my opponent here. And that that's the risk of this type of mono ruby deck. And even with a pretty bad sideboard, but his hand had the gas, but just he gets that burn to the ground I mentioned. But again, it doesn't obviously do anything. So that was that. That was the oh, thank you very much there, Damon's Bane. Donating $5. Thank you very much. That is much appreciated. One thing I'll mention, which I'm going to add you to the list, even though you're not. I do actually have a Patreon page, and on that Patreon page, as one of my low tier pledge levels is $5, and that gets you 1,300 of platinum, up to 1,300 platinum. It's like it's a gamble, right? You can get up to 1,300 platinum worth of goodies. So you're getting something back. So I'm going to actually add you, just because I'm awesome. I'm going to add you to my next month's list for those people. Actually, I might even just add you to this month's. So, Damon's Bane, you're going to get some stuff back for that. I'm going to say thank you straight back at you. But, if you would like to, if anyone here likes to gamble, you like mystery, as I said, my lowest tier pledge level on my Patreon page, which you can find below the stream, the link. Is $5, and that will get you. You can get up to 1,300 platinum. I actually did a YouTube video of the rolls just the other day. A lot of people getting over 1,000 platinum of goodies from that. So it's a way to support me while getting something back and potentially more for your money. So, but yeah, feel free to check that out. It's. In a way, it's kind of a better way to if you want to donate like you did, which again I very much appreciate. But I like to also give back at the same time, and that's the great thing I like about Patreon is that I can do those rewards. So for example, I've also got coaching on there, which I've successfully had a few people I've done that with so far, and it's been very enjoyable for myself and helpful for them. So yeah, you can check that out. It's on my Patreon page. There's coaching, the little bit of gambling stuff you can do, which every tier does include that. So if you do, for example, my lowest tier for coaching is $25, and that also includes the $5 tier. Each one includes that. Anyway, check it out. But again, thank you for that donation. All right, so good game to Jackie Shah there and Prototype Zero. That was fun. So let's go back and look at the deck list here. So as I said, the deck list is somewhat weak to, the deck I just beat. The sideboard is not the worst because we do have the Rockcast, the Princess, the Kiss, and even the Chosen are fine to put in because there's still something that can block a lot of things. Which, because that Mono Ruby deck is so straightforward, even just, you could put in Scrapyard Dynamos and they would be fine. They wouldn't actually be horrible against that deck. But yeah, so the things that you could do differently is, something like Sorrow, if you wanted to have, if that sort of deck was very prevalent in the meta, which obviously it's not at the moment, having something like this in your reserves would be okay. But then, set 4 is going to change everything anyway. So, the deck, it's strong against other control decks because that combo, but, its weakness is if they stop the Fentio, like either remove him or counter, like obviously getting counter on the Azure Fate stops the interaction with the Tarantulas as she becomes a 6 cost, so that's one of its weaknesses there. But thankfully the deck does have alternate win conditions with Reese. Even this guy can do work. Stealing a Windsinger or other good stuff from your opponent can be nice. Even just Fentio, without the mill can, obviously be a win condition. So the deck has a lot of things going for it. Again, this is a deck, this specific list here that you're seeing is something that was run by Sirius at the Invitational. When I saw the deck list, I pegged it as going to be, it had the potential to be in the top 2, is the way I saw it. But because the draft was obviously extremely important and 4 people getting knocked out there, you know, he didn't make it to the top 4, so you know, therefore he doesn't get to to have that chance. But you know, that's how it went. But it was definitely one of the strongest lists at the tournament. You know, he went 4-0 day 1 with it. You know, it's a combo that, again, the thing that makes it so strong that these two together is that if you hit a tarantula, nothing can be done to stop it. So, you know, if you then just keep hitting tarantulas, you win. It's, you know, unless there's only a few tarantulas in the deck. But, yeah, that's that. Any questions about the deck or, you know, about, you know, certain matchups you guys have questions about? Feel free to ask me right now. Again, just to put @HEX in front. And I'll get to answering those. But yeah, there's really not that many weaknesses in the deck. You know, maybe you'd want to go for some more reliable. You know, like Cripple in the side, I would think is decent. Just, you know, really good answer for Phoenixes. Good answer for Killipede, which is obviously not that something really prevalent, but yeah, it all depends on the meta at the time. At the moment, the meta is very control heavy, so the deck, as is still pretty good. Yeah, 6 terrors is definitely enough in a lot of cases. You hit one, you're likely going to hit another, and just all the way down to till nothing. It is definitely the sweet spot, but having more is even better. What is your opinion on the number of Reeses in the deck? Asked Esotericist. Alright, so personally, I mean, the reason it's doing 3 is it wants, you know, Reese is a card, you know, it's like, for example, when it comes to my Winter Moon deck that Coma won with, the change he made to the deck was putting in 2 Reese. Now, when I originally made that deck, I started off with Reese in there, because Reese is something that, you know, he's just, everyone knows how strong he is from back in set 2 when Mono Sapphire was very dominant. But, you know, I originally tested with him in there, but then, you know, after doing a lot of testing, it's like, well, the amount of times that I'm actually getting him turn 2, which is when you need him, really, or at least 3 at the minimum. If you're getting him after that, you're not going to, you know, you're going to be possibly just sad to have him. It's like, ah. And, you know, if you're only running 2, the odds of getting him become even less, so maybe you see him 1 in 10 games. Or if you're Coma, you get him like 3 or 4 games in a row, and you just, you know, you're like, sweet, Reese is the best. So, you know, one thing, if you watched the invitation, you would have seen that Coma, he actually said after the games, after winning because of Reese, you know, he's like, oh, hey, Havoc, they're better than Side of the Sun. Now, that's using confirmation bias, of course. You know, again, if you can guarantee Reese on turn 2, he's great. So using 3 here is probably the right thing to do, because you want to get it early. In this case, in this deck, it's not as important to make sure you're getting it underground on 2. It's obviously something you want to do. But even doing it turn 3, 4, maybe later, because you do have other good early pressure cards with, you know, obviously Fentio, for example. But yeah, like, it's definitely, you know, gives the deck another win condition, right? You've got the protection with only 3 counters, though, but you've also got Inquisition as preemptive protection. So, you know, you could, for example, tunnel him, Inquisition, get rid of an answer, and then have counter open for when he's tunneling if they had drawn another answer or had another answer. Who are you to argue, though? Reese is good, that's not wrong. It's just that, like, the reason I went with, like, Side of the Sun is just that it's very good in a lot of matchups, especially in the mirror match. Anyway, yeah, I've mentioned why in other shows of why I feel Side of the Sun is just better. Obviously, if you can get guaranteed Reese on turn 2, well, then that's better. But you know, good luck getting that every game. So yeah, so 3 Reese here because it wants to get him. But again, it's also not the worst thing to cast as a 5 cost in this deck, because it potentially will mill 8 cards. So as long as you've got that Fentio, and maybe you've done that, you didn't hit your thing, then you cast him for 5, you could still mill to a Tarantula and win that way. But it is, you know, that is the problem with something like Reese, is if you don't get it early and then you draw 3 Reese late game, you're going to be very sad. That's unlikely, but even getting 1 or 2 late game is not something you want to do, and that's the risk you take. as it can be just like, this is not what I wanted, you know, damn it. So yeah, like it's you could, if you wanted to, go down to lesseries. If you want to try and ensure it, you can go up to 4. I wouldn't recommend that. I think 3 is a nice spot, but you don't even need Reese in the deck. You can just do either more control. You could do another main deck. Rise Again would be fine in my opinion. But yeah, it's not something. It's an alternate win condition. So which the deck, you know, you don't want to have all your eggs in one basket. Like the deck, it's not just going to win with just that combo. Like just Fentio and Spiders can do it. As a Texas, you could even do a second one of those if you like. But even an Uranaz, exactly, you could do an Uranaz. But that's, you know, that's an option. You know, one of Uranaz would be fine. Better in like Blood Diamond though, with like Rutherford Uranaz. But it would be okay, especially when you've got Rise Again. Anyway, he is rather expensive though, of course. So yeah, any other questions there? I mean, I know I didn't probably, you know, doesn't answer the question fully, but it is another alternate win condition. So I think 3 is probably the right number if you are going to run him and you want to make sure you get him. I think it's probably the right number. Just tuned in. Is there a deck list for this? Yes. It's on the website, the HEX TCG website. Let me see if I've still got the link open here. Yeah, it's let me find it. Give me just a second. 2 seconds. So this here, copy link address. The link I'm putting in. See ya, Natural Causes. Thanks for stopping by. So that link there will get you to, it's got like the deck lists and all that sort of stuff. So you just click deck list, scroll to the bottom, and then it will have day 1 deck lists at the bottom as well. So by default, I think it shows the drafts. So that's where you can get to it. But also you can just, you know, I'll show the cards here. And but yeah, the episode also will be on YouTube later if you want to rewatch it. But yeah, any other questions from chat? Again, please put @HexTamic in front so I can spot it easily. Alright, what else am I doing here? That's good. So yeah, it's a fun deck to play, that's for sure. Definitely a fun deck to play and can be very powerful. And yeah, not a huge amount of weaknesses really. It's a pretty good deck. But yeah, you will, like, as I showed earlier on Hex Matter, the Oak Hinge is actually working really nice, Sharpie in the Crusader deck. Because, you know, it's much like Wild Ruby in the fact, you know, I mean, sorry, not Wild Ruby, Wild Diamond in the fact that deck is very reliant on Puck. Crusader is still not as reliant because it's got Crusader and it's got more threats with Periwinkle. But just being able to potentially grab either the Puck or Perry early with an Oak Henge, because, you know, without those early pressure cards, you know, if you get them, your opponent then either has to answer them, which, you know, you get to control their turn, and if they don't have the answers, well, then you're just like, sweet. But yeah, like, I mean, obviously, you know, me and Voices basically ran almost the same list for the 5 shards for the Sapphire Cup. He ended up winning with it. I went like 4-4 or something. You know, you just it's just all, you know, luck, man. But I like the Oak Hinges in there, and I would even include the Oak Hinges in Wild Diamond in them as well, because again, Puck is even more important in that deck as well. But Oak Hinge has the other benefit of you know, being in late game scenario to get like a Balthazar or your Root Father as your win condition or a Crocosaur. You know, it's got and those decks, Crusader and Wild Diamond, run a lot of troops, so it makes sense. Obviously, there's going to be times where it whiffs, but yeah, you know, if you're getting unlucky and getting screwed on Wild Shards, well, that's just some Felicity Fluke, man. That's Felicity Fluke. Alrighty, so any other questions? Again, it doesn't need to be just about this deck, could be about the meta. Feel free to ask any questions, otherwise we'll be ending it in a moment here. And the show will again be uploaded to YouTube. And I will be doing a giveaway through YouTube, which I'll explain in a minute, but I'll give you guys another minute or so, see if there's any final questions. That is really a question about the ramp deck. Why Puck and not Ageless? Okay, Ageless Troubadour. You can't compare the two, man. Puck is insanely good card. Insanely good. It enables potentially a turn 3, for example, Root Father, or it can just be nuts. An Ageless Troubadour requires elves, so he might only just give you one resource if that's all you've got on the board. Unless I'm thinking of the wrong card here. I assume you're meaning Ageless Troubadour. It's not comparable, to put it simply. I mean, one's a 3 cost, one's Puck's 2. That's not really. I don't know what else to say. It's not comparable at all in the slightest. Puck is an extremely powerful card and probably will be for some time. Like set 4, I feel like we're gonna see some very powerful additions for Crusader and even Wild Diamond. We've already seen the Forever Child, I think it's called. Roy G, I think set 4 is going to change the meta completely, and I cannot wait. I cannot wait to dive in and make some more decks to kill some more tournaments. But yeah. Oh, definitely. There definitely could be some very nice. We've seen some very. There's a very nice legendary elf that was revealed with Rage, and when it hits an opposing champion, you gain resources based on the damage dealt. That's a 2 cost, 1/2 with Rage 1, I believe. So very powerful. I mean, it's not just Puck in the roof. I mean, it's Puck enabling you to play your fatties, to put the pressure on before your opponent can, especially against the control decks. If you get a Puck down and they don't stop it, or a Periwinkle, in most cases you'll just win, unless you have a bad hand, I guess. But that's the key to beating a lot of the control decks, especially Winter Moon, is to put the pressure on before they can control everything. Because if you do a Puck and they can't ripple that, well, they do, and you just replay it. Well, then they have to answer it again, because they're not going to be able. They can't just ripple and counter. Leave counter open, for example. So unless they've done you've done Puck and they've got ripple open because they were on the play. It just that alone can beat that deck, just by having the Puck down, them having to need the answers. If you've got the right hand, you can just beat them just with that. And this is one of the reasons why I ran Crusader in the 5 Shards tournament, is because it's never, the deck didn't get worse, and people didn't stop running it because it got worse. People stopped running it because the 17 health is a little scary, but the deck still does what it does, and technically, in my opinion, is better than, say, Wild Diamond, because you've got Periwinkle, and as we saw in the Invitational, both JJ and Satellution put Periwinkle in the side, which I felt was a little greedy. It's not going to do what it needs to do, which is be that early pressure that needs to be dealt with, because of the thresholds were just very tough, being tricolor at that point. While it could still be a good late game play, to do it, and then a 5-drop or something, you need to then have, it's in my opinion, if it was me, I would have just taken Ruby Wild Crusader instead of doing something like that, just for the consistency, and Puck and Perry is 2 very, very strong early pressure cards. So, and that's they are what make Ruby Wild, basically. But Root Father is pretty broken. I thought whole Mono Blood was supposed to shut down. I mean, Mono Blood can do work, definitely. If they, for example, say they're on the play and they just do, and you don't, if you don't have Puck and Perry, and even if you do, the discard variant of Mono Blood is very tough for those type of decks, Crusader, Ruby, Wild Diamond, because they can just Inquisition you, take something that's gonna be early, be it a Puck or something, and then they can, say they do an Arachnophobia when you get down to a few cards, like maybe you play out a troop, they kill it, they then Arachnophobia you, and you've got like maybe one card left, and maybe it's a fatty that's like a 7-drop, and you're never casting it, and then you just die. You just get, they play a Vampire King at that point, and they go and eat that Root Father, and you cry. Like, you just sit there and cry. How much pizza did Bella eat? Not much. Not much. So, I'm going to quickly just put my cooling on, because it's getting rather warm in my room. But yeah, any other questions about the Blood, the Spider deck, or the meta? Anything in general? Also, I will ask you, what deck would you guys like to see next week in in Monday Meta Madness? I will try and do it again on your Monday, America's Monday, for 6 p.m. PST Monday for you guys. I stuffed up today, forgetting that it's Monday for me. I don't know how I did that. I guess it was because I was still tired. But yeah, I just totally brain farted. So yeah, 2-pack to make it work. So yeah, what decks in the meta? I should have said. I mean, I could cover. I mean, I don't. 2-pack's not really something in the meta. So it's something that's in the meta. What would you guys like to see as next week's focus for the show? That's probably a good question. No one else there. Alright. So yeah, while I'm waiting for the last few responses there, I'm going to switch on over. You mean make it work again? Yeah. So let's switch on over to here. So this is going to be obviously relevant to YouTube. So when this episode is uploaded to YouTube, which will be shortly after the stream ends, I'm going to highlight the episode and send it off to YouTube, and that'll probably be up within an hour or so. Generally, it's quicker. But yeah, and then basically all you got to do to potentially win a Fentio, to go in the drawing, all you got to do is like, comment, and subscribe to this episode. So it'll be episode 4. What did I call it? What am I going to call it again? It was I forgot now. I've lost it. Whatever. Anyway, it'll be episode 4. So all you'll have to do is like the video, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and then you can go in the drawing to win Fenteo the Brood Priest. Obviously a key card there. So about a 2,000 platinum card at the moment. He went up. Obviously he's actually maybe gone down again. I don't know. But that's obviously when it's up on YouTube. So that's your chance to win there. So make a mill deck that doesn't suck. Have you done Azure Cannon? I could do Azure Cannon. So maybe I'll cover Azure Cannon. I kind of done videos in the past, like back when I started that type of stuff in set 2 with the with those combos, with the key combos there. I kind of covered it before, but I mean, yeah, I could cover it properly for sure. So that's an option. But what I will get used to do, as the comment on YouTube, just put in what you would like to see next week. Put in whatever comments you would like to add yourself, but also comment what deck in the meta you would like to see on next week's show. And you can use Hex Meta for that if you want to just browse through there, see what people are running in gauntlets or tournaments, and maybe you see something that, I wouldn't mind Havoc breaking that one down for me. So yeah, just do that in the comments there on YouTube. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Again, all you got to do is like, comment, and subscribe. And thanks for watching. And obviously, well, there it is again. Please consider subscribing. Check out my other videos on YouTube. There is obviously episodes 1 to 3 of Monday Meta Madness. There's various tournaments highlighted and all that jazz. And again, thank you for that donation earlier. Damon's Bane. Yes, there we go. I got it right. Yeah, feel free to check out my Patreon page. You can get in on some gambling action there to win potentially 1,300 platinum of goodies. And there's also coaching. So if you would, if you're new to Hex or you want to just up your game, get some coaching from the Wizard of Oz. No wizard powers included though. But yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. Take care. Have a great day, and I'll catch you all. I'll probably be streaming again on. Let's see, what day is it for me? I'll be streaming again on Wednesday. On Wednesday, I'm going to stream. I'll do a draft. So, yeah, thanks for watching the show. Hope you enjoyed it. And, again, take care. See yous.